Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Media Mall podcast. Today, we have two very special guests, the owners and founders of Media Mall. We have Tony and Peter. Gentlemen, how's it going today?
Going well, thanks.
Yeah?
Very good for you to have us on here. And
Thank you for joining us. Super happy to have you here.
been watching you interview some of the other members, and it's been really fun to watch.
It's good content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting some good interviews with the other members, so
Good.
can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. So tell me a bit more about yourselves for people that don't know you. We'll start with you, Tony.
Oh, geez. Serial entrepreneur. This is my fifth business. I was 14 when I had my first one. I've always been somebody that likes to help people and work as a group. So this whole model is just a sort of a natural thing.
Yeah.
And I'm originally from Ottawa. I live in Montreal now. Currently working on opening a location there, and we have some exciting news about a new one here.
Cool. Let's get to that after we hear from Mr. Peters. Tell me a bit more about yourself.
So I've worked with Tony since about college,
Yeah.
and I started as a designer, then kind of moved into development, analytics, SEO, then got into psychology as my kids were born and things like that. So
Wow.
it's been really fun working through all these different elements and then tying it all together in a place like this where you're working with a whole bunch of really intelligent and driven people,
Yeah.
and they all have their specialties, and I've had enough experience in a bunch of them that I can talk intelligently about any of them and then know when I need to stop and say, yeah, you guys need to take this over. So
Gotcha.
it's a lot of fun having those kinds of conversations here.
Which college did you guys go to?
Algonquin.
Yeah.
Algonquin? Do you guys still work with Algonquin on... I know you speak there sometimes, right, Tony?
Yeah, I speak to the advertising class usually once a year. It's one of the most fun things I get to do there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think when I hired Pete halfway through our last year of school, and that was 15 years ago.
That's how you got started.
Yep,
And when did the Media Mall get founded?
2015.
2015?
Yeah, we ran an ad agency for about 10 years, and then decided to close that and start this. It was just a natural thing to do, and it's been going great.
So let's describe Media Mall for those out there that don't know too much about it.
That's all you've got.
What we found when we had an ad agency was just that we had lots of people coming to us that had projects that had multiple different elements. One of my favorites is a website. You're building a website, you've got a designer, a developer, a content writer, translator, SEO guy, photographer. There's all these different pieces. And clients are often subcontracting and finding different people that are doing these different parts. But at Media Mall, they can come in here, and we've taken a different approach. Instead of a big agency style where they've got a lot of staff or a lot of offsite subcontractors, we have a group of companies here. There's 21 companies in Media Mall right now, and each one of them has their own area of specialization. And when we're working on a project like a website, we can bring 8 different companies around the table and put them in the same boardroom. Client tells their story once, everybody hears it.
Yeah.
We work on it like one team, but because we're all individual companies, we all are very focused on the areas that we work in, and because there's so many owner-operators, there are a lot of people that are very passionately involved in making sure that what they deliver is quality.
Yes.
And as a result, you get an unheard of result.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's better to work with individuals that are focused on their craft.
Yeah.
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 So tell me a bit about the common mistakes you see your clients making before they start working with you guys.
Content. Content's a big one.
Yeah.
It used to be we couldn't sell content to save our lives because everybody had a brother that wrote content. These days, content is probably the most important part of any marketing strategy. And we still get people that will work on content for months because they think that they can do it, and some can. But you'll see people struggle with it. We've got people 9 months now have been working on writing their own content, and as a result, the whole project gets delayed or improperly put out. So it's worth it to have someone who knows what they're doing write content, because it's not just about writing, it's about writing it in a way that people are going to receive it and search engines are going to receive it well and all that stuff.
I can totally relate with that. About 7 years ago, we hired somebody to do our website, and the project just dragged on because we weren't providing them with the content that they needed. So you're absolutely right that's a big hurdle. And what's the solution to fix that?
Hire somebody.
Yeah.
Someone you can trust that can take your content and put it in a frame and kind of put the proper messaging behind it so that it's well branded. It's not just a matter of, I have all this information and here's a list. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for people. That doesn't work for search engines.
Yes.
So you need someone that can craft the story around the content that you have and then walk people through that and demonstrate the value that you provide. And that's the toughest part of creating your own content, because you have it, and even if you write it down, it's not right. It doesn't feel right. So you
Yes.
end up staring at it for weeks.
Gotcha.
I'm guilty of this myself.
Yeah.
And that's why we try and hand off that exact kind of thing, because it's really hard to write about yourself or your own company.
And we have content creators here that can help companies with that.
And it's a common thing to see, because anybody, when they're talking about their business, you feel you can talk about what you do without any trouble. But when you're writing it in a way that other people are supposed to understand it, often what you say and what you feel about it isn't necessarily the way that the rest of the world is going to perceive it.
Gotcha.
So when it's written by somebody who's a professional at what they do, the way that it comes across is the most important part, and it's done properly. So we've got here we've actually got a room called the Writer's Block.
Yeah.
And we have several content creators. We have people that specialize in writing, in SEO, in social media, in translation, and we've put them all in one room, and they are content creators, and they do a fantastic job of
Yes.
spinning out wonderful stuff.
Yes. I'm looking forward to interviewing those
They're fun.
people. I've already interviewed Shannon
Yes.
that does, brand
Content-
management.
Brand management, content strategy, things like that. A lot of stuff around building the story
Yes.
behind the brand.
What's something that people can do today to improve their business?
I'd say one of the first things that we like to do is a bit of a marketing audit.
Yeah.
We take a look at some of their basics, their brand, their website, some of their content. A lot of people go into marketing not knowing what they should do or what they want to do. They'll hear the buzzwords about how their social media needs to be good, but they don't know the first place to start. So one of the things that we can do is just a conversation. We can sit down with you for half hour, whatever it is, and just get a chance to chat with you, take a look at the content and material that you've already got. And in a pretty short amount of time, we can give you an idea of where you stand and give you a laundry list of things that you could and should be looking at in order to move forward and take the next steps.
Yeah.
It's better to do that than to just throw yourself at the latest trend,
Yeah.
because if you're not in a position where that's going to help you, there's no point.
And how do people get in contact with you if they want to do that?
Well, best thing to do is either give us a call. Number is 226-1000, a nice easy number. You can find us on our website. It's mediamall.ca. You can always email hello@mediamall.ca, and that'll get you in touch with us directly. And we're always pretty quick to respond.
Good. That's great. Yeah, I think that's good advice. And what's one of the biggest benefits that you guys have found after starting to work? I know you're the founders, but after being in this space, working with all the companies, what's the biggest benefits that you found?
That goes into a few, actually, because there are benefits to the clients that we work with, and then there are also
Yeah.
benefits to the members that are here.
Yeah.
So for the clients, the beauty is that they can come into a single place, meet with a whole bunch of different providers in whatever their needs are, and be able to tell that story once and get everyone's feedback, get that conversation going live in the room.
Yes.
And it really creates a synergy that you don't find if you're you're the hub and you've got all these spokes going out to different providers. It's great when they can actually speak to each other and they can morph an idea from okay, this is your goal, so we want to use a video for that, but for that we want to use this and this and this and surround it with all these other elements. So
In the same building.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I had a client in yesterday where he sat with me and we were talking about the website project that we're working on, but then we just walked down the hall and he poked his head into one of the other members' offices to talk about an application that's being developed. And the next office over, we walked into Springboard and suddenly we were ordering golf t-shirts and playing cards and mugs. And for him to just, within 20 feet, he's been to 3 different companies and can just pick out the things he needs, and it's all taken care of.
It's like a shopping mall.
It's Media Mall, isn't that?
Isn't that something?
But it's nice because he doesn't even have to do anything, because when there's a logo that needs to go from the design team over to the promotional guy, there's nothing that needs to be done. We take care of it,
Walk down the hall and just take care of it.
and everything's done.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
it really
aspect.
works well for our clients.
Well, the other thing I've heard from a couple of clients is that they really enjoy the unbiased direction that we're able to provide as a group, because you usually have a business that specializes in one thing or another, and then to them the answer is always, well, you should do more of this. And it makes sense, because to their in their worldview, that's exactly it. The more of this you do, the more results you get that way. But those results, you might be able to get a larger result off of doing something slightly different, which doesn't fall into their wheelhouse.
Yes.
So when we speak with clients, we can present unbiased ideas where we don't say you need to do SEO. It's like, you want to do it, here's the level of what you would probably want to aim for. And then for social, here's what you want to do. For events, here's what you want to do. And it gives them a much broader concept of it without feeling like they're being pressured into something that may or may not be right for them.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. I
Actually,
like those answers.
I had somebody compliment us on that just a couple of days ago, where they've met with a few different agencies, and that's exactly what happened. Is they got pushed in that agency's focus direction, whereas in our case, it's going out to all of these different companies. So we'll just, here's the options, and here's what we think you should do.
It's a more complete solution
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
yeah, more varied and
More client focused, I
Yeah.
feel. It's less about the service, it's more about the client at that point.
Yeah.
So one last time, best place to reach you guys, I guess, would be the phone number. What is it again?
Number is 613-226-1000, and best email address is hello@mediamall.ca. And check out the website, again, mediamall.ca. There's some great info on there about our different members, the different services we offer, and access to some great videos that are being made.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Media Mall podcast. We'll see you next week with another great member from the Media Mall.